Hey, what's up all? Sorry for the technical difficulties. Just having some problems this morning with the stream, but we are good to go, I believe. Some other crazy event pending. I think we're ready to rock. So, good morning, everyone. Hey, Summit, how's it going? Let's draw our channels for this morning, guys. Hey, Jocko. This was a clear down move. Already looks like it is played out with that break a new low. We had a little correction channel here. That got played out with a break new high. And another little channel here. It hasn't got a new low yet. But we have 2 attempts down. So if we now push above the EMA, we'll stop looking for a new extreme of that move. Hey, Gary. Wait a minute, what's that supposed to mean? Good morning, man, you too? It's good to see you guys. Looks like we also have a range down here. Something along those lines. Cool. So I think that's kind of sets us up for the morning. As you can see, this stuff does not take a whole lot of time most of the time. The quicker you get at identifying channels. Hopefully y'all are able to see that stuff on your own when you're looking at a naked chart. Good morning, Grandpa. But if not, keep practicing, you know? The thing about channels is that it should be obvious. What you're seeing should be pretty obvious. Because you want to be seeing the same stuff that everyone else is seeing, right? So if you're having to find these crazy random channels that, you know, you have to use a magnifying glass or turn the chart upside down to see, then it's probably not legit. So as of right now, we have this range working. It's not perfect, to be honest. We have, you know, this breakout here, this breakout here. The bottom looks really good, at least at those 2 levels. The top, we still have, you know, a little bit of space here. So I'm not fully sold on this range just yet. I don't know, maybe with that big move, we have like a larger downtrend. Let's play around with that. But even if we draw that, okay, well, if we do draw a larger downtrend, we could actually see some more movement to the downside. I don't really like how it broke out of the channel though. Like, we never went down and touched this bottom area here, so I'm not super sold on that wide channel either. Nice, Jocko. Yeah, I know. There's been a lot of stuff overnight, but these candles form so slowly. So even if you see a good setup overnight, you got to place your order and then pretty much go to bed, because it's going to take like at least a half an hour to work itself out. Well, I'm not really sure what my bias is here, to be honest. I'm contemplating right now whether or not I would take a long if it came down here and gave like a nice false breakout or something. Hey, Zippins, yes, yeah, that is the case. Good morning, happy range Thursday. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think I will. I think if we come down here and give a nice failed breakout bullish bar, I won't take it on the first bull bar, but I'll look for the higher low, and I can play that. I feel good about that. We had that big move downwards, but that already technically played itself out with this break a new low. This wider channel, not yet confirmed, really. We never tested the bottom. It's not like we have a bunch of downward momentum here. So yeah, I feel pretty decent about taking a long at the bottom of the range. Especially if we chop down that way. We already have a break of this short-term bearish channel. So if we push down, that'll be a new low for that. No. Oops, hold on. That'll be 2 legs as well. So yeah, I feel good about a long down at the bottom of the range. I would be preferable actually rather than a short at the top, because we already have 2 legs of a bullish move here and here. So we really at this point want to see a test down at this level. If we just turn up from here, that's going to start to be some bullish, a bullish imbalance. Because then we will have, this low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and so we won't want to short that anymore. But if we can come down here and get a nice bullish bar, failed breakout, I think that is going to be a good setup. Spicy, thanks for the question. So the 2 legs, now there's a couple things to note there. So one is like the technical count of a second entry, which we can go over, but then the other thing is just identifying 2 legs, right? And maybe that's what you're talking about. And really the simplest way to talk about that is just visually. Just look at the chart. Where do you see a move and then a pullback and then another move? All you're looking for is this pattern right here. That's all you're looking for. So anywhere where you can see this, it's 2 legs, right? I think right where I had that example is perfect. Look, you can see this bullish move up, 3 4 nice bullish candles. It pulls back, and then visually you can see another move up. So that's where we would see that there are 2 legs. for whatever reason, the market loves to move in twos. You never see prices just go straight up or straight down. There's always like a push, correction, and a push. A push, a correction, and a push. Like, that's just how prices move. So just trying to see that visually is all we're doing. So that's like the visual aspect of it. And then the second entries, you're just looking for the times that a bar for a second entry long goes higher than the previous bar. That's it. That's really all it is. So from this top, for example, and second entry longs, you always count from a swing high. Once you get a pullback, that's when you can start looking for the first entry. So first time a bar goes lower than the previous bar, that's your pullback. And then a first entry happens anytime a bar goes above the previous bar. So right here, this bar, the wick, goes higher than the previous bar. So that is your first entry. And then you're just waiting for another pullback to get your second entry. And that hasn't happened yet, right? Because no bar has gone lower than the previous bar. Right here, see? Higher, equal, higher. We have not got our second pullback yet. So once you get your second pullback, then you can look for your second entry.
You know they're out there, don't you?
So this would be a good example of that. Right here is a swing high. We have a pullback because this bar went lower than the previous bar. And so we're waiting on our first entry, and here it happens. This green bar, it goes higher than the previous bar. Okay. So now we're waiting for the second pullback. Happens right away because this bearish bar goes lower than the previous bar. So that's our second pullback. And then now that we're in our second pullback, whenever a bar goes higher than the previous bar, that's the second entry. And that happens right here, higher than the previous bar. So that is your second entry long. Hope that helps. I'm reading your comment too, Zippins. If you need help visually and use Ninja, add the zigzag indicator. Change properties to use high, low. Interesting. I've never experimented with that, but yeah, hopefully that's a helpful tool. There is also a free second entry indicator. Let's see if I can pull that up. Now there's some paid ones too, but I don't know if you really want to pay for something. If I could find that. I just found it off a dude on YouTube. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here. Oh, you haven't found one? Okay, here. I'm gonna drop it in the chat or something. Let's see. So here's a free one. I mean, it's free, so it's not perfect, right? But it'll start to help you get an idea. I think this is too large here. I'll like some dudes you. Yeah, so if you're having trouble with second entries, you use Ninja Trader. There is free right there. That might help you. So anyway, what we are doing now, y'all, is waiting for something to happen. Again, the last 10 minutes before the open, we've just done absolutely nothing. Strange pattern. Lots of movement, you know, overnight. Last 10-20 minutes before the open, just stall. But anyway, hopefully we can get that move down to the bottom here, like I said, and get, you know, play a failed breakout, bullish bar. I will likely wait for the higher low, just as a second confirmation, because I'm not entirely sure exactly what our bias is. We had this move down, is technically played out with a new low, and you can even see this new low here. So this thing looks like it's played out for sure. And then we're just kind of settling into a range, but we still could get more movement to the downside. So trading lightly for sure, but I think we might be able to get a buy at this level. By the way, guys, if you're appreciating this at all, if this is at all helpful, enjoy hanging out, please like the stream. We got like 25 people in here, only 8 likes, so either, you know, I'm doing something wrong or people are just forgetting to hit the like button. Either way, helps me know if I'm on the right track, helps the YouTube algorithm get other folks seeing this. So like it up. Thanks, Pete. Here's the open, guys. Let's see what we got going. Again, nice 2 legs up, so bullish momentum is done there. Now we're looking for 2 legs down. We got 1, and looks like we got 2, and we're already bouncing, but there's no way to enter this. Still might get one more chance there. See, measured move really could go down this far, so let's wait for that. Some funky stuff can happen at the open though. And I don't think we're gonna get that move to the bottom of the range. I think that happened. I think we were already there, already happened. We're gonna have to wait till prices get to the top at this point. Look for a short. Yeah, Matthew, if you're after this touch right here, you don't want to go long there. You really want to see confirmation. You want the bull bar to form right at the bottom. There's nothing really going here. Brooks might take it. But yeah, I think you can easily get this a move down and then 2 legs to a new extreme like that. Yeah, engulfing bars really, you can trade them in certain contexts, and they're definitely good, but yeah, I think by and large they're very difficult and not as high probability, because again, to trade an engulfing bar, and this isn't really an engulfing bar here anyway, because it doesn't even go. A true engulfing bar is like this bearish one here that completely is lower than the previous bar and higher than the previous bar. That's truly an engulfing bar. But yeah, I mean, they're sketch, right? Because you don't know how the bar is going to close. If you enter a trade before the bar actually finishes, a lot can happen, you know? That's what wicks are. At one point, this bar right here looked really bearish. It came all the way down here and it was a big red bar, and then at the last second it reversed. So that's why engulfing bars are a little bit dicey, because you don't know what the bar is going to look like yet. You're kind of trying to predict how it's going to close. So better to wait for a bar close. This is a nice clean move up here. Typically would want to look for a second entry long from that, but we're right at the top of this range, so gonna hold off. I would really like to see a legitimate break out of here, and maybe even like a drift back into this, so it's kind of just choppy, and then a breakout. Right now, can't take this failed breakout. It's too strong. Yeah, so actually I'm looking for a long here. If we can maintain this level right here. We have a second entry long that forms right here. I will look to take that. Yeah, Gary, I guess you could have like a wide uptrend from here. I don't really like that though, to be honest. A little too choppy. This really does look like two solid legs, not one big one. So I'm gonna stick with this for now, but I could see how someone might draw that. So again, if we are able to hold the top of the range right here, and a second entry long forms, I will look to trade that. But with this bearish bar, I don't know. I kind of got a feeling we're just going to drop down here without an entry. I am going to widen my range though, because this got straight to the same level as this, so we might actually still be in the range. I'm just going to try that out, see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Still tempted to, I'm gonna throw that other line on there. Right around here. Spicy, how long did it take me to become comfortable with my strategy and become consistently profitable? I would say a solid year of just focusing on this strategy, and I had been trading prior to that, so I already knew, you know, kind of all your standard foundational stuff, candlesticks and support, resistance. You know, I knew how to read a chart more or less. So yeah, I mean, if I had started from square one, I think it would have taken a lot longer, but just the strategy, learning it and then trusting it, I think is the bigger thing, right? Yeah, like I would say a solid year of only doing this every day. So we have our first entry. The second entry long might look really nice, but the fact that we would have to take it right into, you know, this high right here, we already have 2 touches there. That makes me a little bit nervous, but looks like it's gonna go without us anyway. Yes, Dylan. Docs, NinjaTrader 8, DB, and then delete the cache folder. That's correct. That's how you clear it. Which I did this morning. I remembered. So my chart should be good. If yours looks different, you might want to consider clearing your cache. Okay, our little uptrend has a break and a new high. We're at the top of the range. Could consider failed breakout right here. So far, not really getting a setup to do that. Also, this move up was pretty strong, so it's a little bit risky to trade against that. I will, in order to really feel comfortable with taking a short here, I'm going to need to see a failed second entry long. Meaning, from this high, a pullback, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, that then fails. So, because we already had this move up, a break, a new high, so according to trendline rules, that is played out. And the range structure. Now, if we didn't have this range structure, I might think that we would get, you know, a wider move and continue up, but I think more likely is that we drift downwards here. So looking to trap some bulls who want this bullish move to continue, especially folks that are only looking from the open. From the open, if you just look at that, this looks quite bullish. But taking in all this overnight price action, we're more likely in a range. Yes, Gary, you could also look for a lower high below the EMA. That's totally valid. I would prefer to wait for this failed second entry long myself, just as more confirmation, because from the open, this is quite bullish and we could just continue higher. I'm even going to put this up, just the possibility of a spike in a channel. And now that we are pushing above the range, I'm starting to think this is a little bit more likely. This was really our chance right here to push below the EMA and you know, start to drift lower. The fact that we didn't even touch the EMA and pushed higher again after the break in new extreme is telling me that there is a little bit more bullishness in the market than I originally suspected. But definitely got to watch this level, because this is that swing high from earlier, wherever I'm right there. So if prices cannot get above that, then we can kind of resume looking for shorts back into the range. Price is struggling at that area. Looking like it has maybe a little bit of resistance there. We might be trapping some breakout traders who went long right when we broke that swing high. There we go, pushed above it, so definitely looking more bullish now. And especially if we can reach up and confirm this channel, that will be excellent. And then we could look for a second entry long that forms somewhat like that. These spike and channel formations sometimes can be hard to identify, and we might have to play around with this channel quite a bit because it could like get a lot steeper on us or something like that, or flatten out more. We don't really know yet, but so far this looks nice. Looks like it fits. I don't want it to shoot up. Oh, perfect. It's stalled out right there. I would be confirming if prices turn down right here. That's going to be awesome. But kind of looks like we're just going to rock it up. Oh, okay. In that case, maybe it's not a spike in a channel. Maybe it's just a wider bullish channel. I'm going to play around with that. That does look quite nice. Matthew, good questions. And yeah, it looks like we were talking about the same spike in a channel, for sure. When Alberic's formations. How often is there a break in new extreme and then further continuation? Definitely happens, and when it does, you know, that's showing you that, you know, maybe there's a larger trend. So if you have a move that comes up and break in a new extreme like that, and then it just keeps going, then you go, oh, okay, this wasn't the trend right here, you know, the here, and then it's over. You have a wider thing going. So yeah, that tells you information as well. If you get a break in new extreme and then it keeps going, then look for a wider trend. And that's exactly what happened here, right? We had narrow channel drawn, had a break in new extreme, and then we just kept going. So that's when you start looking for a wider trend. This is kind of acting like an overshoot here. So maybe we did have the spike in channel. I don't know, with an overshoot. This could be our second entry long. I don't like it though, because we are now back below this swing high, testing the top of the range below the EMA. Both of these levels need to hold if we're going to stay bullish. There's the second entry long with absolutely no way to enter above a bearish bar. There's only one leg down, you know, pretty much. So we can wait for a higher low here. Higher low confirmation of that second entry long. Especially if it occurs either at this level or, and I think I'm speaking too fast. It looks like we're already just gonna make a new high with no way to enter, unfortunately. We do have some Fed zippins. I'm just reading your comment. Oh, here might be the higher low. Don't like this candle though. That formed pretty fast. Higher low's bearish anyway. I'm gonna skip that. And that's why. Boom. Oh yeah, home sales is happening in 10 minutes, and then there's a lot of Fed speak. Yellen speaking, Macklin speaking, Waller speaking. So this could be an interesting day for sure. Parker speaking. This could definitely be interesting. With this move down, it is making me think that perhaps I had it correct at first. And this is just the new high of this smaller channel, and maybe even, you know, an overshoot of this spiking channel. And that's definitely acting as such. You have an overshoot, prices can quickly correct or even reverse. That's exactly what happened right when we had this push up right here. So that makes me think that this is either an overshoot or just the new high of this, and likely headed back into the range now. Now you could have, you know, if you really believed in it, you could have taken this failed second entry long right here. Pull back first entry long, pull back second entry long that then fails. I don't like it right above this swing high. There's definitely room to the top of the channel, and room to the EMA, but the fact that the swing high was right here, you can easily see that offers some more support, and then we're off to the races. So personally, I would have held off on that one. Well, I did hold off on that one. That's why I thought the chances of its continuing bullishness were high for sure. And they might still be, because now we do have 2 legs back on this bearish correction. See that? That could be where we continue our bullishness. Maybe there's a wide... Nah, it doesn't look very good. So I'm looking bullish right now, because again, we have those 2 legs down of that bearish correction. So let's see if we can hold above the EMA And maybe you get a failed second entry short. Or if our bullish direction can play out, then we can look for a short again. So with this kind of range structure, no overall bias, we really are just trying to play the short-term channels, see what's in play, what has played out, and then try to capitalize on it. We have, oops, sorry, we have a lot of space here that if we are truly in a range structure, that could easily get filled. So I think looking for that, but also that could mean that we have a bullish bias forming and that we're going to continue up. So it's a little bit tentative right now. And that kind of answers your question there, Matthew. I would love an entry back into the range if it sets up right. But right now it looks like we're just going to drop without anything. That looks too wide. We're right at where we had the previous range high. Doesn't look like that offered any support. And delete it. And delete this one. Nice, Jocko. I'm glad you got that failed second entry long. That was really the only way you could have gotten in on this. Was taking this trade right here below that bar, failed second entry long. I just couldn't do it. Not right into that previous swing high. The possibility of this wider uptrend. Couldn't pull myself to do it. I think chances were high that we could have gotten a move like this that then reached a new high of this bullish channel. So we keep pushing lower, so this maybe this wider channel is legit. Nice, Gary. Well, hey, look, man, I'm glad you guys got that one. That's awesome. That is great. And look, if you feel good about a trade, if you feel good about a setup and you can take it in good conscience, then do it. I would have entered that, I would not have felt good about it, and if I would have gotten a pullback against me, I would be sweating and it would really work me over emotionally. So that's one way you can kind of judge whether or not you should be in a trade. Like, think about what happens if it starts to fail. Are you going to be okay with that? Because it's a really good decision on your part? Are you going to be able to accept the loss? Like, oh, okay, that was just a loss. You know, losses happen, probabilities. Or is it going to be like, oh shoot, I knew that was risky. It's a good exercise to do before you enter a trade. Think about what you're going to be thinking the trade fails or starts to fail. And I think that'll tell you a lot about how confident you are in the setup and whether or not you should be taking it. So if you can take a trade like that and feel good about it and feel like, yep, this is exactly what I should be doing, excellent. More power to you. For me, I couldn't, and so I can't take that trade. But I think there were a lot of good things about it for sure. It's a beautiful failed second entry, beautiful bearish bar. We are in a range, so you do expect movement down here. There's room to the EMA, there's room to the top of this channel. Those are some of the good things about that. It's only money. There you go, Gary. Okay, maybe a second entry short here, guys. We already have our first entry. This is a pullback. This will be our second entry. It is coming right off of that channel line and the EMA. See if it forms right. Shoot. Oh man, I accidentally canceled my order. Dang it. Ah, that sucks. It is news though, I believe. Oh, maybe that's better that I didn't get it, but shoot, I had my order in and then I accidentally bumped the cancel button. Ah, I think that would have gone already. Yep, I'd already be out. Dang. Well, there's another setup, guys. A second entry short right here, confirming this channel that we had going. This uptrend is played out with a break in a new high. Happened right at the EMA and the channel line. I think that's a great setup. Wish I would have gotten that. All right, that's cool. Got to move on. I'm glad some of y'all got it. Dang. But here, the thing is, if I would have remembered that we were having news at that moment, I wouldn't have taken it. So I'm not too bummed, because if I had been thinking about everything that I should be thinking about, I would have avoided that trade anyway. But so yeah, maybe it's better that I didn't take it. But everything else looked perfect. I mean, I don't know that you can. That's pretty dang textbook right there. And it just occurred to me that there was news like after I had already missed it. So, oh well. Best to skip trades at news anyway. The next, we just have Fed speak like way. Well, when's the next one? The next one's in an hour and a half. Yeah, Zippins, it is hard to keep everything aligned sometimes. For sure. I do have my news calendar up over here. That I would have set like alarms or something. So now we have a break of that down channel. Oops. Move down. We got a break expecting a new low. Yeah, that's true, Zippins. I have heard of like news indicators right on the chart. I don't know that I want my chart cluttered up with something else, to be honest, but that would be helpful. I just need to, like, maybe I'll just set an alarm, because it's not usually too many things. And I don't want every single piece of news on my chart either. Just the major ones, though. Anyway, maybe we'll get another second entry short here. That's the first entry. Can't take this, pushed up too high. I'm really working right now to try to get over the fact that I missed a trade. Not a good place to be in psychologically if you're thinking about, you know, missed opportunities, or, you know, if you take a loss. That's always been an issue for me too. If I lose, I'm like, oh, just frustrated. And oftentimes I will end up taking a setup that's not ideal afterwards, just because I'm frustrated and I want to make it back. So that's something I'm working on personally. So with this, I have the opportunity, and really helps talking it out with you guys. I have the opportunity to move on from this. Yeah, and like Toad's saying, it's not great around news totally, but it worked, dang it. I would have had it. So I'm trying to get over that, move on. Yeah, and that's almost more important. There will be plenty more trades for sure, and that, honestly, like, that is more important to your trading practice, is to work on those things, like moving on from a loss, and or missed opportunities, or whatever, mistakes, whatever, moving on from that, and really trying to, like, clear your mind of that, reset your emotions, because you're not going to be able to take good trades if you're just agitated or regretting or whatever. So I am officially going to move on and get over it and just wait for the next trade. Yeah, some people struggle with moving stop losses. There's all sorts of different issues out there. The fear of the F up. I like that one, Carlos. I you know, I get that one too. Like, for sure. I don't want to. I want to make sure I'm seeing everything. So sometimes I miss setups where it's like, oh shoot, like I was just thinking too hard about that. That was a second entry long right at the key entry point. I should have taken it. I definitely don't struggle with moving stop losses. I don't like losing, and moving a stop loss to me is like, I'm just gonna lose more. So I definitely don't struggle with that one. I know that that is an issue that a lot of traders face. Exiting early, sometimes I do that. Yeah, for sure. Try not to, like, especially when you have very tangible ways to judge when to exit. Like, I exit based on the ATR, right? We have almost 2 points ATR, so I'm going to go for 1.5 points, and that is my target. And I'm just going to stick to that. So having like a rule like that helps rather than, I don't know, just some arbitrary number out there like, oh, I'm going to take profit here. Well, if you have kind of a rule behind it, that might be able to help you. Like, no, my target is based on the true range of the ticker that's moving today. So bars are on average 2 points big. So if I go for 1.5, the probability that that happens is likely. And then yeah, Toad, definitely having a runner is super helpful because you can get out at a couple points, like get over that emotional thing of like, oh, I'm in a trade, I need to close it. And then the runner's just free money, you know? You don't have to worry about closing that one early because it's like, hey, this either doesn't work and that's fine, or this makes me a bunch. So I've definitely found that the scalp and then having a runner is helpful that way. May have a wide uptrend right here. We're past that measured move, it looks like. Just starting to pass it. Oops. Ah, measured moves everywhere. While I'm thinking about it, guys, this just occurred to me. Today is the last day of the 90% off Apex sale. So last day that you're gonna get 90% off. Don't miss that. If you're thinking about getting some evaluation accounts trying to get funded, take advantage of that. Get several accounts because it's recurring at 80%. So first month is 90%, recurring at 80%. You get entered into like a performance account giveaway. Today's the last day. So if you're wanting to do that, take advantage. Code's down there, links in the description. Definitely do that. Okay, now, we never had a new low of this downtrend, but this push down didn't stay below the EMA. This push down held above the EMA, so I'm kind of done looking for a new low of this. It looks like we might just be reversing, so I'd be more inclined to take a long here. And if you zoom out, this is definitely more of a bullish bias forming. This is too wide, but you do have, you know, the fact that you can see that tells you something, that we're definitely moving up. Bears have had their opportunity. They weren't able to capitalize. So we are now looking for longs. Let's see if we can get a second entry that happens at this channel line. Hopefully the EMA can catch up. And that would be a solid trade. So nothing so far. Doesn't look like might be one of those just drift higher kind of moves that doesn't offer a setup. First entry, first entry, first entry. We're not touching the top either here or here, so we might be running out of steam a little bit. And right at this high. So let's see if we can get some support at this previous high, or if we shoot below it. Looks like support is more likely. Just looking at this previous channel, and I guess you could draw it a little bit tighter, and then you would have a breaking new extreme. I like drawing it like that anyway. The other one felt a little wide, so if you draw it like this, you already have a break and in two legs to a new low, so that makes sense why it would be bouncing here. Yeah, I like that better. It's a lot tighter. Don't need the range anymore, I don't think. We're on to something else. Yep, still never reached these highs. It looks like this gap is getting wider at the top, and we're kind of running out of steam on this bullish channel. But we still could get a second entry long. I'm zooming out just to see. I don't know, maybe we have a measured move in here somewhere. See this guy. If that's the case, we are right at it. If a second entry long forms nice though, I'm not gonna skip it because of that. Especially if it can happen above this, which is the swing high from previously. All right, can we get that second entry long? EMA so far holding prices. That is great. Since we have this short-term correction channel, we do want to see a really solid break of that and then a move lower. This is looking pretty good so far. That is our first entry. As you can see, the pullback from the top is the first time prices went higher than the previous bar. We just need one more pullback and a second entry, and we can take that long. And no news. I'm looking right now. I think we're clear of news. Going to keep my fat thumb off of the cancel button. So far, this is looking like a textbook second entry long. Need it to come down a little bit though and get closer to that EMA. Don't want to have this big gap here. That's no bueno. Come on down, baby. Like the price is right. Come on down. Here we go. Come on now. Get down to that EMA, baby. Let's go. Just no Barker and Happy Gilmore, yeah. The price is wrong, Bobby. Oh, man. Come on now. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. And this is going to be the second entry right here. There it is. Bummer. Well, can't take that. Maybe we can get a double trap here. Or a higher low. Confirmation. You had your pullback. First entry, pullback. This right here is the second entry. Because that bar ticked higher than the previous bar. So that is our second entry right there. However, you got a doji right here as the signal bar. Not touching the EMA. No bueno. Can't take that. So maybe we get a higher low or a double trap right here. A higher low means exactly that. That it would be higher than this bar right here, right? Higher than that low. A double trap would mean that it goes below that, meaning all those who took that second entry get stopped out, and then we get another chance to entry. So traps all those longs, and then shorts trying to play the reversal, and then you get a nice entry for a long. So that's a double trap. Both longs and shorts are trapped. So here we go. This would be the double trap if it forms. Let's see. Want that EMA to hold prices. I'm going to put my order on just in case. I'm ready to cancel if the signal bar doesn't look like it's going to form well. There we go, baby. Finished green. Still have 500 ticks to go, though, so I don't want it to rocket up before we get a chance. Cool. Yeah, stay right there. Oh, come on. Finish green, baby. I think I'm gonna risk it. Maybe. No. It's not getting an instant trigger. Nope. Gotta cancel. Come on, market. Give me something. It's okay. So I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing here. Overall context, you have this large move up that has a break. You're expecting a new high to be formed, so you're looking for a chance to get long. The second entry formed. Oof, this is tempting, but starting to get a little congested here because the second entry long didn't work. The double trap didn't trigger right away. So I don't think there's a setup here anymore. So yeah, the second entry long formed right here. Above a doji, too much room to the EMA. So you're expecting the double trap. When this kind of stuff happens, you're expecting the double trap to form. Because that second entry is a little too high. And then you get a chance at it, but then no trigger. We get equal highs right here. So it might work, but it's a little bit risky. Getting a little congested. This could be a fake out for the bulls right here. So at this point, now that that setup has kind of come and gone, we just need some more information. So again, we're expecting a new high of this uptrend. Here's the break. We still will likely get a push up here. And then when that happens, we just want to judge the bearish correction. Are we going to just drop down and reverse, back into the range? Then we can look for shorts, or maybe we get our push up here, and then the bearish correction is more like this, and then pushes above the EMA again. If you see something like that, your bias remains bullish, and we're looking for another long opportunity. So that's really kind of the rhythm of price action trading, is like, let something play out and then see what the correction does, especially in these mixed trading environments. If you're not in like a legit, we are in a bullish trend forever. Yeah, let stuff play out, let corrections play out, and see what it looks like. See how strong it is. Judge whether or not it's a reversal or just like a minor correction. And then you can look for the next setup. The 2000 tick chart, Grant, to answer your question, is it can be the same as a 30-second chart, can be the same as a minute chart. It really just depends on how fast the market's moving, how much volume's in the market, because obviously a 2000 tick chart is each bar represents 2000 orders. So if you got a lot of orders coming in, then the chart moves faster, and if not, then it moves slower. So lately, yeah, it's been closer to like either a 30-second or a minute chart. But it can often look like the 3-minute chart. And I know initially, you know, like a decade ago, when Max started using the 2000 tick chart, it most resembled the 5-minute chart. That's why he picked that particular number. So yeah, it's kind of unique in that way. It's always a little bit different, which is really why I like using it, because it tells you a lot of information. You know, like if the market's moving really fast and you get all these orders in, say, 5 minutes, well, on a 5-minute chart, that's just going to be one green bar, and it's hard to kind of read that, right? But you have a tick chart, you're seeing all this detail as far as how prices are moving, you know, what kind of lines they're respecting, how each of them are forming. So it gives you a lot more information. Got a little range here. We're still needing a new high of that uptrend. If we get a move down here and a nice bullish bar, I might buy that. Okay, let's look for it, guys. We want one move down here. Nice bullish bar right on this low. That would be awesome. Again, still expecting the new extreme to be formed. Nice, Grant. It's always fun to challenge yourself like that. Start a sim account, see how big you can get it. Curious what would have happened if we would have entered that double trap. We would still not be out. We'd be sweating it. Just got out right there, but it entered the double trap. That would have had me sweating for sure. Would have got out right there, and then prices coming back, it looks like, to hit the runner. But I feel confident that I skipped that one. Because you didn't have an immediate trigger on the next bar after this double trap. Hey Robert, I'm glad you're here. Good morning to you. Yeah, man, I mean, this is trading price action, trading pure price action. So no indicators on the chart. We have a couple of EMAs just as like supportive indicators, you know, kind of helping judge overall context and bias. This is the 21 EMA, 100 EMA. All the channels are just things I'm drawing based on price action, structure. Daco, nice, good work. And looking for high probability setups, and so mostly second entries with the trend. Don't do any counter trend trading here, but So if there's a trend, looking for a second entry, either long or short, depending on the trend. Also, if there's a range, looking to buy the lows, sell the highs on false breakouts. That is primary the strategy here. There's also some other nuanced setups, you know, like failed second entries against the trend and things. But yeah, I mean, I think the best way to kind of get a feel of this would be tune in. I'm here every morning, 9 o'clock market time, talking through everything I'm seeing, all the trades and stuff. So it can kind of sound like a lot at first. Really, it's a pretty simple strategy. And yeah, tune in to kind of get a sense of it, and maybe it's for you. I don't know your experience trading, or you know, what strategies you trade. This goes for anyone else out there too who's new to the room. Spend some time, see if this strategy is for you, and if so, we'd love to have you join us and hang out in the mornings. Now we do have a new high of this channel. Again, the way price action works, when you have a channel like this, an uptrend, and you have a break and a new high, that move is played out, at least temporarily. So now, again, I was just talking about this. Now we're on to the phase of judging the correction. So we're watching the bearish correction to see how strong it is, how far down it moves. And once it's played out, then we can look to take another bullish trade. Unless, of course, it just drops crazily and develops its own bearish trend. I kind of doubt that. We're definitely have an overall bullish bias to the day. As a matter of fact, let's see if there's any possible wider channel. That's looking pretty dang good, I'm not gonna lie. That looks pretty good. So we're gonna leave that up on the chart. Don't know if it's legit or not yet, but we certainly have a bullish bias. And yeah, good question, Robert. I will talk briefly about that. So profit target is, for me, always based on the ATR of the stock. So I'm usually doing like, I don't know, 70% or so of the ATR. And I say stock, but I'm only trading ES futures. So down here you can see the ATR is 1 3/4 points. So that means I'm going to be going for 1.5 points or 6 ticks. If you're familiar with how futures are measured, 6 ticks is 1.5 points. So that would be my target. Stop loss always goes 1 tick below the signal bar. So if I was going to enter a trade above this bullish bar, which would actually be a second entry long, which is one of the setups we trade, although I'm not taking this one, and I can explain why here in a minute. That is a second entry long, so my entry would be 1 tick above this bar, and my stop loss would go 1 tick below it, looking for 1.5 points. So that's how that works. I didn't take that one, and it would have been a loser, it looks like. And so why did I not take that? Good question. So zooming out. Well, first of all, zooming in actually. That is a second entry long, meaning price is pulled back at a first entry, or the first time they went higher than the previous bar. Another pullback, and then a second entry, or the second time prices went above the previous bar. That is our bread and butter setup. That is what we were looking for. But why didn't I take it? Zooming out, you gotta respect trend lines and the way that prices move. We had this bullish move here that already had a break and a new high, so that bullish move is played out for the time being. It is the case that we're in a wide channel like this, we can expect to see a correction to that level. So you're expecting a bigger correction. You're at the top of this channel. You already had this bullish move play out. Now is not the time to take another long. That's a late entry that traps people. Wait for the corrections to play out. On top of that, we have to always keep track of our short-term channels, and this looks like we were still in a short-term channel when our entry triggered right here. So you also want to avoid it for that reason. If you're in a correction channel, that needs to play out. That needs to continue going until it has a break and a new low. Otherwise, it's still in play. So those are all the reasons I would not and did not take that trade, and as you can see, it would have lost. So I think some people who are newer to the strategy might just take every second entry that they see and wonder why they keep losing. This is about reading price action, so you have to keep everything in mind and learn how to read the chart holistically like that. Takes a little bit of time, but it is once you see it, you can see it. No, I would not counter trend trade. Sure, everyone has heard the trend is your friend. That is so true. Now, are there strategies out there that can work for counter trends? Sure. However, they're not high probability. In order to have those kind of strategies, you have to have very small risk and large reward, and your win rate is going to be really small, and that's fine. You can profit that way, but this strategy relies on high probability setups with a large win rate, and my risk to reward is usually like 1.5 to 1. I need like above 65 win rate and golden. So yeah, no, we're trading with the trend. Here's our bearish correction. We want to see that play out with a break and a new low, and then we can continue looking for longs. And if you're new here and you're appreciating the content, please consider liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. You get notified when, turn on the bell notifications, and you can get notified anytime I'm live. There's a lot to come, guys. A lot of plans for a lot of educational content. A lot of big things coming, so follow along if it's helpful to you, and I think you'll find that this community is super chill, really supportive, and that's definitely how I want to keep it. Yeah, it sucks when you're in a group and people are just criticizing one another and not being helpful. Now, I definitely want to call out things and be honest, like, oh, I'm not sure you should take that trade, so I'm not glossing over that stuff, but yeah, we be excellent to one another, as a great philosopher has said. That's right, Grant, you and Jocko. For sure, the core of positivity. Once I thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken. I like that, Gary. It's a good one. Never mind. Thought I was wrong, but never mind. All right, so now we do have a break of our bearish channel there. As you can see, moving down, here's our break, expecting at least an attempt lower. And then we can safely assume that the bearish correction is over and we can look again to buy. Hey, Christian, good to have you. Awesome. Glad you're with us. Also, guys, so since we have a pretty strong push here above the EMA, I live on the west coast of the United States, Robert. So I got to start my day a little bit early, not as early as, you know, someone in the, I don't know, the Philippines or something, but yep, day starts early, but it gets over early as well. Tampa, Florida. Nice. Christian, good question. This is the, yeah, I'm gonna start putting this stuff in the description too as more new folks hop in. I feel like those will be common questions. So this is the 21 period EMA and the 100 period EMA, which is, the 100 period is basically the 21 period on the 10,000 tick chart. This higher time frame, which by the way we haven't really looked at today, so taking a look at that, kind of telling a similar story here. Got a wide uptrend like this, and on the 10K chart it looks like we already touched the bottom of this, so that's interesting. Trying to see if we can, it must be because this is like all one wick or something, and so the channel's a little bit tighter like this. Okay, so we never got a new low of that bearish correction. That is bullish for sure. Straight push up. I can consider a second entry long here. Do want to be cautious though, because we are still in the upper half of this channel. At some point we're going to need to see a larger correction that tests this area. So yeah, it's gonna have to look really nice for me to buy anywhere up here. I don't really like this candle here that just went straight down after this nice move up. Like 3 of those bars nearly got erased. So we'll see how this forms. I'm a little bit skeptical, but we'll take a look. So it looks like we are going to get our first entry. Oh my goodness. Spazzing out here. For those of you new, still learning this strategy, we have this move up. And when we have a pullback, we're looking for the first entry. It happens right here. Pretty easy to see. So once we get a second pullback, we will look for our second entry. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be trading this because of everything I've mentioned, but if the EMA can hold prices and it looks really good and we have a nice signal bar, I might consider taking it. Still on our first entry, looks like we might get a new high here. A first push up. Also looks like we are likely too high to have a second entry that forms legitimately right by the EMA. Thanks for that call out, Gary. Hit the measured move. Let's check it out. Got this measured move. Dun, da, da. Yep, you're right. We hit that. Even more confirmation that we ought not to take the trade here. For those of you wondering what the heck that was all about, the market loves to move in twos. That's just how price moves. I don't know why, it just does. So you have one leg up here, and then a pullback, and then another leg up, and start looking for this on your chart. When you see a big move up and then a correction, measure that second leg up, and you will. It's crazy how often it works. Right when prices hit that area, they'll correct. So you get two equal legs, and then you start moving in the other direction. I don't honestly know why all that happens. It just does. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Like, especially now, trading is all pretty much done in the large institutions by algorithms. So it makes sense that there would be kind of mathematical geometric formations to how price moves. And if you believe that the market moves based on human behavior, well, then the same could apply. Humans behave in very predictable ways, so naturally there would be patterns. But really, I mean, retail is not moving the markets. And human psychology too, exactly, Gary. Like, yep, you try something twice, right? If you have a move up and then it starts to pull back, from a purely human psychological point, you're not just going to say like, oh, never mind, that didn't work, let's just keep going down. Oh, you're going to say, hey, let's give it another go. For that particular tool, Robert, there is a, it's called the price action toolbar. Right there, that has like some of those drawing tools, the measured move and things. So you can check that out there. Well, now that we're at the measured move, I really not ready to take a long yet. So I would want to see a larger correction here. And we may never get it. This may be one of those grind up kind of days. The EMA is following this channel pretty perfectly, just kind of drifting up with the midline. So we could for sure just kind of continue to chop around like this and kind of drift upwards. I would definitely not prefer that. Those kind of moves are really hard for me to trade. I just don't. Yeah, it's really difficult. I would prefer like a move up and then a second entry that's really obvious, rather than kind of this slow grind where you're like, oh, that is a second entry, but I don't know, are we gonna reverse yet? So yeah, those grind up days are some of my least favorite. I would much rather have a trading range than a grind up day. They're great for longer term positions if you're swinging a position on SPY or a stock or something. Those days are great, but scalping, not as much. And they're also great too if you do get in a position, you can ride that thing out all day and just get a massive runner. But that's the trick, is being able to enter that early enough. Often the entries are not as clean. Yeah, you bet, Robert, for sure. Yeah, well, if you have another software and you want to try a measured move, I mean, you don't have to get anything fancy. You can just draw a line. Works the same. Draw a line and then copy, paste, and drag it where you want to go. And then if you want to, extend that out, just draw a horizontal line at the same level. So yeah, that's one thing you can do for sure without having to get any software. Works just as well. Totally, Gary. Got that as a potential. See if we can get a second entry that forms right here. I'd for sure consider it. If the EMA is going to hold, I mean, yeah, Kristen, the 2000 tick chart is great for scalping the S&P 500 futures. Gives a lot of detail. You can trade these price action strategies work on any time frame and stuff. So this is pretty common, this chart, with ES scalpers, but you can use all sorts of stuff. I mean, you can use the 5-minute or like time-based charts, but you don't have as much detail, and so it's harder to see specific movements of price and things like that. Or you can use, like, this is the 10,000 tick chart. It's just takes longer to form, and you can certainly trade based on that, but your risk is going to be a lot higher. Your risk management has to be different. So there's no magic time frame or anything, but it's a common chart, and it works really well. Yeah, we might get a second entry here. We have our first entry, as you can see from the top. One entry right there. Once we get another pullback, then we can look for that second entry. I just don't know if I can take it up here. Although it is confirming this possible channel. I think for me, I'm just going to have to see if it forms really nice or not. And that's going to be the judge. Context-wise, it's a little bit iffy for me. But if we get a really juicy bar and it happens right here, that's going to be tempting for sure. Okay, this could set up. Let's see. So here's our second pullback. First entry. Here's another pullback. So we'll be looking for the second entry. I want to see a nice bullish bar that forms right here. And that will be a high probability setup. I'm not going to chase this for sure. If it forms too high, I'm going to skip it. It really does have to form just right for me here. Right at this entry point. Nice bullish bar. This one's pretty good. It's just touching by the tail though. One thing that might keep me out of it. Because again, context wise, I don't think this is like A++. Would like to see us move down a little bit farther. Yeah, if we can move down here, get one more bar right here that ends nice and bullish. Just zooming out to just make sure not missing anything. Again, this really is the moment for a larger correction, so I'm only going to take a long if this sets up really nicely. Doesn't look like it will. Looks like rather we are going to be correcting down to the bottom. Yeah. So I'm going to delete that uptrend. I think we have a correction in store. There is a little bit of support here, perhaps. Maybe if we bounce off that and give a nice bullish bar, I'd still consider it, but a little dicey for sure. And this little mini uptrend here already had a break in a new high. But then again, this downtrend now has 2 legs, so there's kind of a lot going on here. And when things are not super clear, that's also a good indication to just wait, get some more information until things are very obvious. The trades you take, you really want it to be like, yeah, I have to take this. Like, if I don't take this, I'm an idiot. Yeah, those are the kind of setups you want to wait on. Okay, it doesn't look like this is going to end bullish. Yeah. So, I don't think there's a trade for me here. I think it would be wise to wait for a larger correction to play out. I think that's what's going to happen. This isn't one of those runaway bull trends where you just buy. There's a lot of up and down here. There's a lot of correction phases going on. So I think you got to be patient here. Wait for a larger correction to play out, and then we can look again for a bullish trade. So anyway, that's going to take a while to set up. It is now 11 o'clock a.m. So I'm going to get going. But hey, to all those new here, welcome. To all those OGs, thanks again for hanging out with me. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Like, and again, guys, last day. This is the last day for the Apex sale. 90% off. Take advantage of it. Last day for that. And yeah, I will see y'all tomorrow, bright and early, 9 a.m. market time. Take care, everybody. Trade safe.